This episode of That Podcast in Hutch is brought to you by me. If you'd like to learn about how you can sponsor future episodes of That Podcast in Hutch, please reach out to me at thatguyinhutch@gmail.com or through my social media channels, which are also That Guy in Hutch. Thank you. Hey everyone, it's That Guy in Hutch, Jason Probst, and you're listening to That Podcast in Hutch. Today's episode, we had a pretty packed house in here tonight. We had Patrick Weathers from the Hutchinson Fire Department. We had Ricky Garcia from the Hutchinson Police Department. And then we had Tiffany Davison from the American Red Cross, all talking about an event coming up this week that if you can make it at all, you want to make it to, because it's very important for the community, but it's also a fun event. It's the Battle of the Badges, and we've been doing this in the community for a long time. And basically, it's a fun competition between the fire department and the police department to try to get the most people voting for them as they donate blood that ends up helping people in our community, people in Kansas, and people across the country. And it's a really good, it's a good cause, but as you listen to this episode, I think you'll hear that there's a lot of fun with this too. It's a community event. There's food involved. There's a chance to win some Super Bowl tickets. But we have a good discussion about the need that's out there, about some of the things that have changed with giving blood, and part of some of those changes have affected who can give blood in a positive way, but also, different things that are part of our world have also made it so that some of the people who have traditionally given blood are not able to with the same frequency that they used to. So we're having this conversation so that we can make sure everyone knows about this. And I want to run through the dates. We run through it several times during the podcast, but I want to make sure I do it here at the top so everyone knows about it. It's the Battle of the Badges. It's the community blood drive. And the first opportunity is Saturday, January 25th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that's held at New Covenant Presbyterian Church. Then on Monday, January 27th from noon to 6:30 p.m., Tuesday, January 28th, 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and Wednesday, January 29th from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., all at First Presbyterian Church over at 201 East Sherman. Those are all available times that you can schedule to donate blood. As you'll hear in the episode, you can walk in and just drop in if you want, but it's better to make an appointment. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. So we'll let you learn about that in the conversation. But this is an important thing that's always happened in the community for people to donate blood and to help out the community. But it's even more fun and better whenever there's a little friendly competition and some fun happening there. So I hope you enjoy this conversation and learn a little bit about the Battle of the Badges. Well, hey, I've got Patrick Weathers, Ricky Garcia, and Tiffany Davison in the studio with me today. Ricky's with Hutch Police Department, and Patrick's with Hutch Fire Department. And you all are about to get into a little friendly competition that's been going on for about 30 years, we think. We haven't figured out exactly how long, but it's the Battle of the Badges. There's a trophy that goes with this. Where is it right now?
Currently, the fire department has it. It's at our command center.
For a couple of years now, maybe.
It's been, yeah, we've managed to hold on to it for a few years now.
Yeah, so we got a nice shelf for it, waiting, spot reserved.
And then do you have a plan this year to get it back, Ricky?
Oh, a lot more engagement with the community, handing out flyers, making sure we write vote police on all the flyers that we're hanging out, doing what we can to get as many people, voting for us as possible.
And then, Patrick, what do you guys got going on?
We tend to be pretty competitive, and we've started trying to solicit votes ever since the chili feed in the fall. So,
it seems like an unfair advantage to have firefighters and chili.
We do. We've got a pretty good recipe there, too. So.
Well, Tiffany, I'll let you talk a little bit. What is Battle of the Badges, and what's Red Cross's role with this?
So the Battle of the Badges is our Hutchinson Community Blood Drive that we host about every 56 days in the Hutchinson community. In January, of course, we get these guys involved to help us build awareness around the need for blood and use their support and their community involvement and get them to get in a little competition here for some votes and help us get those blood donors in and see who wins the trophy.
Now, you all, I'm sure both the fire department and the police department, you're working with your staff and your firefighters and your officers to get them engaged. But what other things do you do to try to get people to vote for your side? Basically, when people go down and donate blood, they can cast a ballot and say, I want to be counted for police, or I want to be counted for firefighters. How do you try to get an edge in this competition?
We do it kind of like you guys do with the election, with yard signs everywhere. And we've got that new digital sign up on Main Street we're using.
Oh, yeah.
So at the police department, we print out a lot of the flyers. And one of the driving principles at the police department is community engagements, getting out of your patrol car, interacting with businesses or populations. So I've been tasking a lot of the officers with handing them flyers. Like, hey, make sure you get these flyers out today. That way they have a good reason to get out of their car and also have that face-to-face contact, spreading awareness.
Yeah. And what's the need? I mean, we know that donating blood is an important thing for our community and across the state and across the country. But can we talk a little bit about why that is so important, like what the need is for blood in our community?
Yeah, so 1 in 7 patients entering a hospital will need a blood transfusion. So I'm sure these guys have had different occasions where they have seen that need. Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood. So if you think about those statistics, that's there's quite a few people that need blood. One of the things we always mention too is, blood has to come from individuals. It cannot be man-made. So those donating are truly helping another person, and can be in your community, it can be in another community, it can be wherever.
And then you both work in, Ricky and Patrick, you both work in fields where you've seen tragedies before, and so you usually are involved in probably helping people get to the hospital after an emergency or something. So you've seen firsthand maybe the need for the community to step up and donate in this way.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the blood comes in, after we get done with them. But there are a lot of occasions where I'm sure that the blood is used. I try to stay out of the way once we get to the hospital as much as possible. But there's a lot of times where it is very apparent that blood is going to be needed for the procedures afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where it's not like you don't see an immediate need for the blood in the field. But once they get to the hospital and they get into surgery or something like that, there's really going to have to fill them back up.
Yeah,
somehow,
definitely.
So.
Yeah. And then Tiffany, do we struggle with securing enough of that resource?
At times we do, depending on the season. Of course, right now we've had a lot of winter weather and canceled blood drives, donors that couldn't just get to drives, even if we tried to host them because, the roads were bad or the storms were, in the way of that. Blood donation is also needed for cancer victims, those that are in accidents, heart surgeries, organ transplants, burn victims. There's just a numerous amount of need for those patients.
You said that, was it 1 in 7 people are going to need that? I can't remember what the stat was that you cited.
So our statistic is 1 in 7 patients entering the hospital will need a blood transfusion. So that's pretty high. I think people sometimes don't think that it can be a need of theirs. until it is a need. And if it is a need, it's when you want that blood on the shelf.
Absolutely. And then you said, is it about 56 days that every 56 days you can donate?
Yeah, so a blood donor can donate whole blood every 56 days. And then we also have a blood donation that is called a power red donation or a doubles, kind of depends on how you've heard it called. And those donors donate every 112 days. So they actually can skip a time. So we have quite a few donors in Hutchinson, Reno County, the area that we have good donors that really like to do that. And it's kind of funny. There are people who come and that's what they want. And it's great because those count for two. It's a process where during the blood donation, it's a concentrated dose of red blood cells. And then the machine processes and we give back your platelets, plasma, and a saline. So sometimes those folks feel, we've had people say they feel better after that because they got that saline back. So yeah, if you are eligible, there are some height and weight requirements for that. So for females and males, you do have to meet certain height and weights. We also like to have those blood donors be of the blood types of your negatives or your O's. And if you haven't given that a try and you're eligible for that, it'd be a great time to give that a try.
You know, one time I asked my doctor if he could tell me what my blood type was, and he said, "Have you given blood?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, just ask them. They know." Yeah. So, yes, if you donate, we give you your blood type. And a lot of our blood donors have what is called the blood donor app. And it's awesome. I don't know if you've used it or not, but the blood donor app is something we definitely recommend if you want to be a blood donor and donate it all. It pops up and gives you your blood type. It tracks your blood donations. It also shows the path of your blood. Really?
So it will show you where it goes. Yeah, it's very cool. I have a lot of kids who just love it and just adult donors as well. You also track in that a little bit of your health histories.
Okay.
So if you had, you came in and your blood pressure was high, it tracks that, tracks your iron. So you can kind of, if something starts to kind of be a regular thing, you can look back at that and, go visit your doctor about it.
As I go around, handing out flyers and talking to people, you can tell I start losing them once I get a hold of, call this number or go in person, get online. And the second I tell them, or you can download the app, they're like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Once you tell them about the app, that's a lot easier way to schedule and also keep track of everything.
Yeah, it has your donor card embedded in it. So when you come to the drive, it's super easy to just pop the app open and we can scan your donor card and get you checked in.
I love that. Especially the idea that you can track where it makes it very real, I think, to people.
Yes. I had a kid the other day, we were there and he pulled his app and he goes, I forgot where it went. And he was looking and he goes, oh yeah, it went to Texas somewhere. So yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. You can really get personal with where you've helped someone.
And a good thing with the app for me is I turn off most notifications on most of my apps, but the Red Cross, it'll let me know whenever I'm eligible, and then it'll let me know when something's available nearby and where to go. That way I don't have to worry about, being reached out to by a flyer or pay attention to billboards. Usually my phone just tells me when I'm ready to donate again.
That really helps, right?
Yeah,
because you don't have to keep track of that yourself. Yeah,
a lot of our donors will come to the blood drive and reschedule their next donation while they're sitting there waiting for their next time, get their appointment made. So, yeah, and it's great, like, if you want to get on there and search blood drives, our blood drive here in Hutchinson, the keyword to search for it if you have the blood donor app is Hutchinson, but you can also search by zip code if you're in a different time frame than our time.
Now, I was thinking about some of the eligibility for donating blood. That's changed over time, right? Like, I know that years and years ago, people used to think, well, if you had a tattoo or something like that, you couldn't donate, but that's not necessarily the case.
Right. No, the eligibility requirements, definitely there have been some things that have changed. The tattoo has definitely changed, tattoos and piercings. If you're from a state, regulated facility, you have to wait 3 months. But other than that, it's a lot less. I think I had someone tell me the other day maybe it was like almost a year.
I think it used to be a year.
Yeah.
You had to wait.
So that has changed. There's also been some updates on a lot of people call it mad cow around. Those donors thought that they were ineligible, but there have been some updates in that as well. So most of those donors are now eligible. People who were in Europe during that time frame.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's another one that's updated. You can always go to redcrossblood.org and search eligibility if you have some questions on that.
Kind of answers that for you.
Yeah, a lot of specific medications are on there. If not, and you have a specific question about like a medical procedure or something that you've had done that maybe isn't quite on the app, you can also go to the Donor Client Support Center, and I'll give that number. It's 1-866-236-3276. I often get questions about people who maybe have traveled, people maybe travel over the holidays on a vacation. Those travel restrictions just really change a lot depending on the time of the year, where they went, where they stayed. So we always recommend that they check that there. I had a family this summer. She was actually a coordinator of mine. Their family traveled into Mexico, and she was afraid maybe that might defer. There were like 5 of them, and they actually ended up, they were fine.
Okay.
So it's just maybe don't always assume.
Yeah.
Maybe better to check.
So it seems like a potential donor should assume that they're going to be okay, and then are very clear ways to find out
in
if
advance.
you're ineligible.
Yeah, definitely.
But most people are going to be able to donate.
Generally
speaking.
Yeah. The restrictions for, of course, we need all donors to be 110 pounds. There's always that weight. And then donors who are 16-year-olds can donate in the state of Kansas with parental consent. And then our 17, 18-year-olds do not need parental consent. Mm-hmm. There are some height and weight restrictions for our youth as well, so you kind of check that. But it's always great. We do a lot of blood drives in schools, and when I see those kids, they're like, well, I donated at my high school, so I thought I'd come donate here, It's great. So that's when we start that.
Yeah, to get them doing a good habit and a good thing early, right?
Right, Yeah, so that's always fun.
And then you had mentioned earlier that that some of this winter weather, which we've had a fair share of recently, is because schools get canceled and you do blood drives in schools. I want you to kind of emphasize that a little bit, that you've had a lot of blood drives canceled because of this weather.
Yeah, we have a lot of schools right now that we do blood drives in, and the kids, donate and they run the drives. It's a great leadership opportunity. We also provide some scholarship opportunity in those schools. But yeah, we've had a tremendous amount of those be canceled. Obviously, if school gets canceled, it's the day of the blood drive. There's no blood drive. And yeah, we're looking at potentially some of that even tomorrow. So
yeah, with this coming in. So there's all the more reason why getting into this upcoming blood drive is so important to make sure we can fill that up.
Yeah, anything that we can do to kind of recoup some units that we've maybe lost from the winter storm is great. And when you donate here, you could be helping the blood supply across the nation, So, because I know that winter storm traveled kind of all the way across.
It's all over right now,
Yeah.
All right, so if you come to, I want to talk about the dates on this, and we'll talk about this again, but you have a drive on, or some days that you can make appointments, and you're recommending making appointments. We talked a little bit earlier. You can show up, but you're probably going to have to wait if you just show up. Everybody's much better to try to make an appointment. Yeah,
we really recommend you make an appointment. We will try to take walk-ins and work them in, but of course, it just makes it a little harder to get in. I think Ricky had an experience with that.
I've been helping out with since I've been a police officer, been involved with donating during the Battle of the Badges drive. And the first year I went, I think it was at the New Covenant Presbyterian Church, and I tried just doing the walk-in and what I assumed would be a quick hour walk-in, walk-out. The people with the appointments kept, jumping over me, which is fine because they made the appointments, but it turned my walk-in appointment to several hours long. Yeah. And since then, if you make the appointment, show up on time, and especially with the app, you already have the questionnaire filled out and just a quick scan, wait in line, and doing the appointment is a lot faster of a process for sure.
Yeah, basically, if you got nothing to do and you're looking for a place to hang out, come on down.
A warm place lately.
Yeah, exactly.
Cookies are limited.
Yeah.
But if you have something else you need to do, or you got to get back to work, or you have any other appointments, you probably want to make sure you make an appointment. Mm-hmm. And how do you do that?
So you can make an appointment. Of course, we talked about downloading the blood donor app and getting on there and getting that registered is, I think, the personal choice. You can go to redcrossblood.org and sign in there. You can call 1-800-RED-CROSS. We still have a lot of folks that like to talk to someone and get their appointment made. So those are kind of the main three ways. If you have a flyer, you can scan it. It'll take you straight to redcrossblood.org. The sponsor code, if you're looking for it, is Hutchinson. That's kind of that keyword that helps you find the drive quickly. So, yeah, those are the main ways to get that appointment.
There's Super Bowl tickets on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, we want to talk about that. So, yeah, you have 4 dates coming up this week. You have Saturday, January 25th, Monday, January 27th, Tuesday, January 28th, and Wednesday, January 29th. But for these Super Bowl tickets, there's a chance to win Super Bowl tickets. You've got to get in on the Saturday 25th. Can we talk? And we're all assuming that the Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl, right?
Of course we are, right? Yeah, so those who come to give, and the time frame was January 1st through the 26th, will automatically be entered for a chance to win an exciting Super Bowl giveaway as a thank you for helping patients in critical need during the transfusions. Yeah, so during that time frame, they will get it. The winner and their guest will enjoy Super Bowl tickets. It looks like a day of pregame activities, round-trip airfare, 3-night hotel, plus a $1,000 gift card. People always ask me, do you ever know anyone that wins? And we haven't had a Super Bowl winner, but we did have someone win one of these nationwide raffles, I think out of Wichita. So it's possible.
So it's possible.
It is possible, yeah.
Well, you can't win if you don't play.
Yes,
right?
right. But if you come in, and then no matter what, all of the 4 days, we actually have a limited edition T-shirt that is for the Battle of the Badges. And so you definitely will get a T-shirt. And then,
so everybody who donates, right?
Yes.
Everybody who shows up to donate will get one.
Or tries to.
Even if you show up and your iron's low, or you get queasy halfway through, or you get through the questionnaire and find some reason that you're disqualified.
Okay.
Just showing up and attempting to will still earn you a shirt.
Yeah.
And you said it's Kansas specific, right?
Yeah, all presenting donors. Yeah, the T-shirt's really a good one. It's black and has the state of Kansas on it and Battle of Badges. So it's kind of a fun one this year. So yeah, definitely come out for that. Then starting on January 27th through the 28th, you will receive a $15 e-gift card to the merchant of your choice. And so that starts the following week on Monday, that promotion. Just a big thing about that is just make sure that you have your email address up to date, and you can check that in health history. You can check that online if you make your appointment, because that is how those e-gift cards are sent to our donors. And so sometimes we have donors that miss that because their email address was wrong.
Is it a sort of gift card? So it's a digital gift card,
Yeah.
right, that you get.
E-card.
What are some of the sponsors that are on the list there?
Ooh, I don't know for sure the merchants on that, but I think if you go to redcrossblood.org, you can click that promo and it'll give you some of those. Yeah.
But it's $15 of free, and everybody gets that too if they donate? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
I know the big prize for those of us at the police department is going to be the chili that they serve after the donation.
I want to get in on this food conversation because this sounds good. Yeah, aside from being able to do the good thing, aside from being able to get a chance at Super Bowl tickets and a T-shirt and a gift card, we got to talk about this food situation, right? Because
Yes.
there's chili. who makes the chili? So it's somebody at the church, right?
So I have 4 incredible ladies who really are the backbone of the blood drive. These guys got to meet them the other day, and one of them is in charge of the kitchen and the kitchen staff, and she does a great job in there, and the chili is fantastic. And I do want to mention that Brett's law attorney actually gave us a nice donation to help provide the food for the blood drive this time. So yeah, we are very thankful for that. So we do take some gift cards and donations for that canteen if anyone is ever interested in helping out. We will serve, if we get everyone in and get what we need, well over 300 people.
Wow.
So it's a community project of its own,
Yeah.
serving the chili.
And the cooking and the prepping of it. Somebody's doing a lot of work to make that happen.
Yes, and the ladies will make about 300 homemade cookies. So there'll be cookies, chili.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were talking, Patrick, you were talking about the cookies earlier. You said
Yeah, there's
limited number of cookies. Right? You can't just be hanging out all day eating
cinnamon
cookies,
rolls as the giveaway on Wednesday until they're gone. So
Yes, Wednesday morning we do have fresh cinnamon rolls. They'll bake those on Tuesday afternoon for Wednesday morning. So yeah.
Nice. And that's just until first come, first serve. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Just on Wednesday morning are the cinnamon rolls.
And you talked about the number of volunteers that it takes to kind of pull this together. You said around 50?
Yeah, over the 3 days and 4, there's about 50 volunteers that will come in and out. They come in on shifts. One of the ladies that these guys got to meet, she's the volunteer caller coordinator. We also use volunteers from the local volunteer center here, and so they do a great job of helping us with some volunteers. And then there are some who are not registered through that are just, they work the blood drive every time, and they'll re-sign up for their same time slot. So if you donate at a specific time, you might see the same volunteer at a specific time.
Yeah. Now, you guys, you've both done this, Ricky and Patrick, you've both done this for a number of years, right? As far as kind of being involved in this and giving blood. Mm-hmm. Do you have any fun stories you want to share, anything or you want to share about your experiences doing this?
For me, the one I've talked about it a lot with the guys of the department, and we have a lot of, oddly enough, a lot of the tough police officers are afraid of needles. Uh-huh. But all the times that I've donated, it's been real pleasant. It's I've told them the staff that does the draw with the needle and the stick in you, I haven't had one bad experience or people fishing around with the needle or multiple pokes, stuff like that. And that's kind of what I stress to everyone, to get them to go out there and donate, because they're worried they're going to sit there and get poked, a dozen times trying to find the vein or something like that. All my time donating has been great and pleasant, especially once I started making the appointment. Yeah. It's been real quick, in and out, and get a nice bowl of chili on the way out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right.
I've done that doubles machine.
Have you?
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. Takes it out, takes a double dose, and then puts the plasma and stuff back into you. So
I know another thing that can be a deterrent for some people that haven't donated before is they don't know how they're going to feel afterwards. How do you guys feel after you've donated blood?
Oh, feel fine.
Yeah.
You don't take out that much.
Yeah, so they don't drain you, right? It's not like it's a pint, right?
It's a pint
of blood.
Yeah. That one of the things we do recommend that people do is, if you've never donated before, to do prepare. Prepare yourself. Drink a lot of water. The more water you drink, the better hydrated you are. That helps with your veins being plump and easy to find, and getting that needle in there. Also helps with the flow of your blood, being able to complete the process and make it easy. So hydration, eat some iron-rich foods, prior. Get a good night's sleep. Just, kind of prepare yourself a little bit. I think that helps as well. The drinking water, one of the other things is eat breakfast. I tell this to my young donors in high school, eat breakfast. Please eat breakfast.
This is not a fasting donation.
No, and this is also not. I had a little gal tell me one time she'd had a pickle and a Diet Coke, so that's always that is not a breakfast. Neither is just a Pop-Tart. Have something real.
It's barely a snack.
Yes, I know. That's what I think too. So yeah, have some. Take care of yourself the day before. Kind of prepare with that hydration. I think that helps a lot.
And then post, you get to eat the cookie. How long does it take to donate?
The whole process should take about an hour. By the time you come in. You'll come in, if you've never donated before, you come in and you'll register with the ladies up front. They're awesome running the computer. They'll get you registered. If you have the blood donor app, they'll use your donor card in your app. If not, we'll need your driver's license, but there as well, photo ID. Get you registered, you come in. You might have to wait a little bit, but then you go to health history and they'll ask you some of those questions. One of the things to kind of help save time in advance, we do try to ask you to do your rapid pass. And a lot of regular season donors just know to do their rapid pass. You can do that through the app, or you can go to redcrossblood.org. It can save you about 10 or 15 minutes if you've kind of answered some of those pre-questions.
Okay.
And then it creates a little QR code. If you're not doing it in the blood donor app, it creates a QR code that you'll want to have at health history so we can scan that, kind of eliminate some of the questions that we would otherwise need to ask. They'll go through some questions with you. You'll get your temperature checked, check your hemoglobin and blood pressure, and get all through that, then you'll be ready to go donate. And the actual donation itself can be not very long for some people, but others it might take a little longer.
If you're well hydrated and they have you squeeze the stress ball as you go, I've given my whole pint of donation, like not even 5-10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it can be pretty in and out.
Sometimes the logistical, the filling the paperwork, answering the questionnaire, stuff like that takes a lot longer than the actual donation itself.
Yeah, the process, yeah.
Wow. And then afterwards, the recovery is like you said, you just sit there for a few minutes and you eat a cookie, and then you're on your way, right?
Yeah.
And the staff,
lingering effects.
The staff does well to work with you, and they're like, hey, by all means, have your juice or your cookie, hang out. If you're not feeling well, you can, by all means, hang out there for another 10, 15 minutes if you feel like it, or if you're good to go, then I think I wear that bandage pretty much like forget about it. Yeah. Honestly, I'd end up taking it off at some point during the day, but no, it's real quick afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you do start feeling a little funny during the process, our staff can work with them and lay them down and get them a juice or, so we have some that take a little bit of time sometimes. I have some donors that have been in and they're like, oh, I just have to lay down. That's what I do every time. If once they know, they're good with that. So
I don't know, man. In today's world, getting an hour or half an hour to just lie down and do nothing, it's a pretty good deal, right?
Right. And during that process, you're impacting potentially up to 3 lives.
Yeah.
So that's take a rest, take a load off, and.
Now, you mentioned something, Tiffany, earlier that I thought was really important to talk about, that we really are in a place where we need some younger donors to kind of come into this system and donate with a little more frequency. Can you tell us what's happened over the last several years as far as the demographics of your donors?
Yeah, so over the last 20 years, the number of people donating through the Red Cross has fallen by about 40%. So that's a pretty significant drop in numbers. Of course, part of that is less than 20% of our blood donations come from the 20 to 34-year-olds, and 45% of donations come from donors over 50. So there is no age limit to donating. You can donate as long as you're willing and able. But as I have found, and, these guys even meeting with our volunteers, as you have to have a certain medication or potentially a blood thinner, or maybe your blood pressure is just a little high, those things can defer our donors, and then they're not eligible to donate. So really trying to get those young donors to come in, maybe a first-time donor who's never given it a shot. I actually had a girl the other day who had donated in high school, and she said to me that she was deferred in high school, and she thought that meant she could never donate. And I'm like, oh, no, that was just then, like, and even then I always kind of joke around. I mean, I know I am not the same makeup as I was in high school, like everyone changes, right? So it was kind of a funny thought that I've really been trying to stress. Like, just because you're deferred once doesn't mean you're going to be deferred every time. Could just be the day, could be the time of your life that you were in. So, and if you have had an experience that was a little rough, give us another try. Yeah. Times have changed in your life, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we talk about this. I mean, the donors, your donor base, life is changing for them too. And we talk about the winter storms. Like, it may just be that they can't get out with the frequency that they used to be able to get out, or
right.
Maybe their living situation has changed.
I know my mom is terrified to fall right now. Like, does not want to go out because she doesn't want to slip and fall. So, yeah, those of us that are a little more agile on the ice, maybe, hopefully, right?
I don't know. Agile.
I don't know. We'll see, right? We all get out of it.
I look pretty awkward. I mean, I haven't fallen, but I look pretty awkward on the ice.
Yes, I know. Yeah, but she's really worried. Yeah, so I know that happens too.
Yeah. So I want to, Patrick, you talked about using the sign on Main Street and on the new fire station to advertise it, which, I mean, you could argue that's an unfair advantage. That's a pretty popular path through town. And
it is. It's the main street. So
it's a bit more prime real estate than over by the courthouse and the police station.
Yeah, you don't have quite that.
We actually have several businesses all throughout the community. One of our volunteers goes around and drops off a flyer, and they'll put it up on their digital board. So the firehouse has a little advantage of that one right on Main Street, but we do have some others around town that'll be putting it up at different places. And those folks that help with that, they are regulars. They'll put it up on their board every time we have a drive, and the community is, and those businesses are amazing for that.
Just gives me a reason to argue for a big old electronic sign out front of the police station.
I was going to say, do you have any tricks up your sleeve yet?
No, we're just really focused on getting out there and putting flyers and doors and windows of local businesses, and just trying to be more in-person style approach.
When you win the fire department's won the last couple of years, are there bragging rights that come with that? Do you kind of rub the police department's face in it when they lose?
We used to do wash the cars and wash the fire trucks, but that was back in the day. So I'm not sure that we do anything really now other than just bragging rights. So
yeah,
usually there's a fun post on Facebook that gets shared around, something like that.
They should have to do something like roll up your hoses or clean your uniforms or something.
Give me access to the fire truck. I'm waiting on it.
We have been doing the presentation at the chamber breakfast in February, so we'll try to get that scheduled. That's always kind of fun to come in and do that there with them.
Well, do you guys want to make, I'm going to ask Tiffany some questions about Red Cross across the country, but do you guys have any last minute pitches on why people should cast their ballot for fire department or police department?
Because blood is red.
And so fire trucks.
So
blood is red and it goes with fire trucks.
I love it.
No, my pitch is just we're out there every day doing what we can to help people and respond to calls, and we got a lot of new young guys here at the police department working aggressively for the community, and we'd love to see them turn out for us and get some votes our way so we can take the trophy back.
There you go. And you said you have a place cleared off for it, right?
Oh, yeah, there's a shelf. It's dusty, but there's a shelf.
It needs to get back there, right?
Yeah, it's good if we goes back and forth, right? Unless we're talking Super Bowl championships. We need those to stay in Kansas City.
Yeah, it's gone back and forth.
Now, Tiffany, do you want to talk a little bit about there's a lot that the Red Cross, we're talking locally about blood drives, but the Red Cross, does a lot of work around the country and around the world. And they've been very active here lately with winter storms and also with the wildfires out in Los Angeles. You want to talk a little bit about the Red Cross's involvement in some of those places and maybe ways that people could help there if they're so inclined?
Yeah, so just kind of some new information that came out. This morning, Monday morning, more than 550 evacuees woke up in Red Cross shelters, which are a safe place for everyone and act as a hub for the disaster out there. Anyone who has been affected is welcome to stop and get information, hot meal, charge their phone, access to other essentials and support. The Red Cross doesn't ask for identification, and people don't have to stay overnight. When we've had the fires around here, I know that we came in and helped do some things for some folks that were kind of in the same situation that these people in California are. One of the statistics that I thought was kind of interesting is that since the fires have started over a week ago, the Red Cross has provided more than 55,700 meals and snacks to help. If they want to help, of course, that assistance, there are definitely, like I think on the bottom of most television screens right now, how you can snap that QR code. You can call 1-800-RED-CROSS. I think you can text the word CA Wildfires to 9099. Locally, you can always help too at our local Red Cross.
Mm-hmm. Now, the Red Cross helps a lot of people with displaced after fires here at Hutchinson as well. You help with the canteen when we have big events here as well. So we appreciate all the help in the Red Cross.
Yeah, there are many ways that we get involved. My part is, of course, more the blood drive. So we do some things with Sound the Alarm, where we help folks get smoke detectors into their homes. And that's a big project as well.
And people don't realize the big function, I'd say, of the police department. A lot of times we're not going out there, doesn't always end up in, the stereotypical like arrest the bad guy type thing. A lot of it is directing people to resources. And one of the first places I send people to is, maybe the American Red Cross might help find a solution or help you out in whatever way, along with a bunch of other resources within Reno County. But usually Red Cross is one of the first ones I mention.
Yeah. Well, all of this and this whole conversation is really, it's kind of a lighthearted competition between you all, but at its core, it's all about community and supporting community and leveraging, the competition and the identities of the police department and the fire department to try to make us aware of the need in the community and try to create something fun that kind of, spurs people to get involved and step up to do something that's relatively simple but so valuable. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, thank you guys for doing everything you do, and thanks for coming in and talking with me about this today.
Thanks for hosting us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of remind everyone of the dates and the times, if that's okay. So the Battle of the Badges is starting this Saturday, January 25th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at New Covenant Church is our Saturday location. Currently, we have 50 of 57 appointments filled there, so we still have a few openings. Looks like we have some Power Red appointments open there. Then we are also on Monday, January 27th, noon to 6:30 p.m. We have still about 60 whole blood and 12 Power Reds available there. Tuesday, January 28th, 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. That date, we still have 50 whole blood and 18 Power Reds available. Wednesday, January 29th, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. We have about 46 whole blood and 8 Power Reds appointments available. And the last 3 days, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I kind of just assume everyone in the community knows, but that blood drive is always held at First Presbyterian Church over at 201 East Sherman Street. And you can park across the street and walk across, or they do have a small lot there between the school and the entrance.
Okay. So get the app, scan the QR code, but there's plenty of spots left open. Make sure that we can get down and get those filled up and get your bowl of chili, get your cinnamon rolls, get your cookies, and do something good for the community.
And also get your vote in.
And get your vote
your
in.
vote
Make
in.
your vote.
Don't forget to vote for...
Vote your conscience.
And we will definitely have a ballot box there and votes and make sure everyone's voting. So yeah.
When will we find the results of that?
So we usually know pretty
Right away,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll try to kind of post out and get it out to some media outlets, kind of where we are each day and how we're doing. So
Well, I'm sure if the fire department wins, they're definitely not going to make a big deal about it on that banner up on Main Street.
We never do.
Digital
We never do.
billboard.
yes, and it's all in good fun. And the bottom line is, you're helping patients in our hospitals and those in need in blood.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all for coming in today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
I'd like to thank a few of the people who've helped make that podcast in Hutch possible. My son Mitchell Probst wrote and recorded the music for the show. Jenny Brigette put together some great graphics and promotional art. And Chris Acker helps overcome my mistakes to produce a great sounding product every episode. That podcast in Hutch is made possible through a collaboration between the Hutchinson Arts and Culture Collective and Salt City Sound. They're working to bring resources and infrastructure to support art, music, and storytelling in our community. If you have an idea for your own podcast, reach out to them at podcasts@saltcitysound.net. If you enjoy that podcast in Hutch, be sure to subscribe and share it with all your friends. You can also help support this production by subscribing to thatguyinhutch.substack.com or by emailing me at thatguyinhutch@gmail.com to learn about sponsorship opportunities. Thanks for listening, and I hope you'll join us again next week.
A Salt City Sound production.